Hello students, welcome to the class. I am your teacher guide VK Singh, your mentor. Now today we will continue our discussion with geometrical optics. In previous class we have seen the plane mirror in the reflection section. Today we will see the spherical mirror in reflection section. So all of you know that a spherical mirror is a part of a sphere. So if I am considering a sphere and I am taking part and silvering it in this way, this is the silvered side, so this is your convex mirror and this is your concave mirror. The center or the middle point we call as pole. This center of the mirror we call it as pole. The name of the mirror I am giving XPY. Naturally this sphere will have a center, so it will also have a center. This center I am representing at C, and C represents your center of curvature. And the distance from pole to center of curvature, these things you already know. The distance from pole to center of curvature is known as radius of curvature. Whatever we shall be discussing, we will be discussing about the mirror of a small aperture. Mirror of a small aperture. That means size is small. If a ray parallel to principal axis goes, then after reflection it passes through the focus. So F represents your focus. Here focus, and a small f, this distance, a small f, f represents focal length. So concave mirror is there, convex mirror is there. These things you already know from your junior classes. There is no such magical thing in this thing. So this is your convex mirror, this is your concave mirror, this is the ray parallel to principal axis. After reflection, this is incident ray, this is reflected ray, this is incident ray, this is reflected ray. Then it passes through the focus. Now you see, this convex mirror is called diverging mirror. Convex mirror is called diverging mirror, and concave mirror is called converging mirror. Now in lens just opposite is the case. Convex lens is called converging lens, and concave lens is called diverging lens. So in lens, why the convex mirror is called diverging? Here you see, this is if the rays parallel to principal axis are incident on the see, it appears that they are diverging from the point F. It appears that they are diverging from the point F. Whereas in case of converging mirror, you will see it appears that they are converging to a point. So this is called diverging mirror, this is called converging mirror. This size of mirror tells about aperture. Size tells about aperture. We are talking about the mirror of small aperture. So this is the basic thing that you should know. And this axis, this line which passes through pole and center of curvature, this line is known as your principal axis. So we are concerned with these few basic terms that every student should know while discussing with the spherical mirror. The focal length is related with the radius of curvature by the relation F is equals to R by 2. Now this is valid for concave mirror also, and this is valid for convex mirror also, but valid for mirror of a small aperture. Valid for mirror of a small aperture. While discussing with the mirror, we will consider the line passing through the center of curvature when it is joined with the point of incidence. When it is joined with the point of incidence, then this behaves as normal. This behaves as normal. Why it behaves as normal? Because in your junior classes in class 10th you have read that any line passing through center that is normal to this point, tangent, this is 90. Any line passing through this center is normal to this point. So the line passing through the center behaves as normal. So this is the angle of incidence I, and this is the angle of reflection R. At the same time, this is incident ray, so this is the angle of incidence I, and this is the angle of reflection R. So this is valid for the mirror of a small aperture because we consider I very small, nearly 0. I is very small, nearly 0. Now I is very small, nearly 0. What does it mean? If I am taking two mirror, this is a mirror of big aperture. Suppose this is a mirror of big aperture. If I consider a ray of light in this way, this is focus, this is center of curvature. Here you see the angle of incidence is not considered, cannot be considered to be equal to 0, and then this formula will not be valid. But if I take mirror of a small aperture, that means the size is very small, then Raise in this way, focus. Better you take this much size. Take this much size. Here is the center of curvature. Here you see the value of I is small and it can be taken at 0. So this formula is valid for, if this formula is valid for mirror of a small aperture. If the mirror is of large aperture, then f is equals to r minus r by 2 cos theta. This has to be remembered. This is valid for mirror of any size. F is equals to r minus r by 2 cos theta. Here this represents the theta. I will show you, I will prove you this also, and I will prove you this also, and from this I will derive this relation also. So f is equals to r by 2 is valid for mirror of a small aperture, and for mirror of large aperture f is equals to r minus r by 2 cos theta, where r is the radius of curvature and theta is this angle. This angle is theta, large value that we will consider as theta. So now we will see the proof of these two formula. Now see carefully. This is a mirror of large aperture where the angle of incidence I is not equal to 0. When the I is not equal to 0, this distance is your radius of curvature, mirror is xpy, OA is incident ray, angle theta is not equal to 0. In this situation, this is angle of incidence, so this is angle of reflection, so this is theta, so this is also theta. As this is parallel to principal axis, so this angle is theta, so this angle is also theta. Now this becomes isosceles triangle, so this side becomes equals to this side. This is also radius of curvature, this is also radius of curvature, because it is the part of the same sphere. It is the part of the same sphere. So CP is equals to CA is equals to R. Now you see, now we have to find the value of FP. FP is equals to how much? This we have to find, which in case of mirror of a small aperture we call as focal length. Focal length. Now you see, I am finding this is equal, from here I am dropping a normal, suppose Fn. As this is isosceles triangle, so this side and this sides are equal. So this distance is your how much? R by 2. I am calling this normal as P, as normal as H. I am calling this normal as H. Now you see, for this angle, this is 90, this is hypotenuse, cos theta in triangle CFN, cos theta is equals to base. For this angle, base is your CN by hypotenuse is your CF. CN is how much? CN is your R by 2. So CP naught CF. So CN is your R by 2. So CF, therefore CF is equals to CN by cos theta. Cn is what? R by 2. So it is R by 2 cos theta. My main objective is to find FP. Therefore, FP is equals to CP minus CF. CP minus CP is your R minus CF is your R by 2 cos theta. If we call distance F, then F is equals to R minus R by 2 cos theta. This is the relation that is valid for mirror of any aperture, any size mirror. If we want that the mirror is a small, if the mirror is a small, that means theta is very small. For mirror of a small aperture, theta is nearly equals to 0, and when theta is nearly equals to 0, cos theta becomes nearly equals to 1. Cos theta nearly becomes equals to 1. And then for mirror of a small aperture, F is equals to R minus R by 2, that is R by 2. So F is equals to R by 2. This formula is valid for mirror of a small aperture. In most of the cases, in 90%, 99% cases, we will have to deal with this formula only. That means mirror of a small aperture only. So this formula, this concept should be clearly understood by you people. That this is the formula, F is equals to R by 2 and F is equals to R minus R by 2 cos theta for mirror of large aperture, where this angle is your theta. This angle is theta. From examination point of view, F is equals to R by 2 is very important to prove. Let us see how we can prove it both for concave and convex mirror. First, case 1, concave mirror. I am trying to prove F is equals to R by 2 for concave mirror. So for concave mirror, I am proving F is equals to R by 2 for concave mirror. Let us suppose there is a concave mirror of a small aperture and the name of mirror I am giving XPY. Here is the incident ray OA, which after reflection passes through focus F. This distance is your small f. Here is the center of curvature and this distance I am taking as capital R. If we join this one, then we are getting this as the angle of incidence, and this is also the angle of incidence, and this is angle I. Why? This is actually angle of reflection, but I is equals to R, so this is angle of incidence. Now this distance is equal to this distance, isosceles triangle, this CF is equals to FA. So in triangle ACF, CF is equals to FA. CF is equals to FA. When this point is very near to this point for the mirror of a small aperture, for mirror of a small aperture, point A is very near to point P, then FA is equals to FP approximately. When FA is equals to FP approximately, then you will observe that, take it as 1, take it as 2, from 1 and 2, what we are getting? We are getting CF is equals to FP. CF is equals to FP. This implies F is the midpoint of CP. Therefore, FP is equals to CP by 2. That means F is equals to R by 2. Here you see. So, for mirror of a small aperture, focal length is half of the radius of curvature. If radius of curvature is 40, focal length is 20, and like that only. So, this way we have proved the formula F is equals to R by 2 for mirror of a small aperture. Now the same thing we will be discussing for the convex mirror. Now we will prove the formula F is equals to R by 2 for convex mirror. Now here you see, the convex mirror is XPY of a small aperture. In this situation, this angle, if we take it as R, and this angle is I, which is equal because this is normal, this will be behaving as the normal. So this angle is also your R. Why? Vertically opposite angle. And this angle is also your R, because I is equals to R. This is your corresponding angle. This angle is corresponding angle. So again, this becomes the isosceles triangle. These two sides are equal. So in triangle AFC, same. CF is equals to FA. Why? Because isosceles triangle. Then for mirror of a small aperture, point A is very near to P. So then when point A is very near to P, then FA is equals to FP approximately. And from 1 and 2, we are getting the same relation. CF is equals to FP approximately. So we are getting CF is equals to FP. That means F is the midpoint of CP, and then FP is equals to CP by 2. That is F is equals to R by 2. So in this way, we have proved the F is equals to R by 2 relation both for concave and convex mirror. Now we have to understand the ray diagram. Ray diagram in case of concave and in case of convex, because concept of ray diagram is very important for solving the numerical and getting its answer in a confident manner. So ray diagram is very important, and you should have the clarity of drawing the ray diagram. For ray diagram, from an object infinite rays are coming. Emerging infinite rays are coming out, but we are concerned with only those rays which are falling on the mirror. So here, for ray diagram, certain rules has to be followed. That means, what is the rules? Better you say rules for ray diagram. Rules for ray diagram is that first ray we will consider if a ray is parallel to principal axis, after reflection it will pass through focus. This is the first rule. In case of convex mirror, you will observe a ray parallel to principal axis after reflection appears to pass through focus. This is the first rule that we will never violate while drawing the ray diagram. In drawing the ray diagram, we will never violate this rule. This rule we will never violate. Second rule we will consider a ray passing through center of curvature. A ray passing through center of curvature retraces its path. What does it mean by retraces its path? Comes back on the same path. Retraces its path. Any ray. You can take this ray also. It will retrace its path. It will retrace its path. Why? Because the ray passing through the center of curvature is normal at the point of incidence. It is normal at the point of incidence, and for normal incidence it will retrace its path. For normal incidence it will be 90, it will retrace its path. For normal incidence it will retrace its path. So this is the case of concave. If we consider the convex mirror, then in case of convex mirror, X, P, Y, focus, center of curvature. Here the ray will not actually pass through center of curvature, but it will appear to pass through center of curvature. Then it will retrace its path. If the ray is appearing to pass through center of curvature, then it will retrace its path. This is the second rule that we shall be considering. And third rule that we have to understand is basically third, if the focus, if the ray is passing through focus, then after reflection it becomes parallel to principal axis. And for convex also the same thing is valid. How? Here, if the ray appears to pass through focus, then after reflection it becomes parallel to principal axis. So first rule, second rule, third rule, and fourth also you should know that if in case of concave mirror, if a ray is passing through pole, then it passes symmetrically. That means if this angle is x, this angle is also x. it passes symmetrically in case of concave mirror, and in case of convex mirror same rule we can apply. A ray passing through pole will pass symmetrically. That means this angle is x, this angle is also x. Actually, from an object infinite rays are coming out, but we are, for these rays we have the rule known to we people, so we will consider only these rays while drawing the ray diagram. While drawing the ray diagram we will consider only these rays. Other rays we will not consider because we don't know the rule about those rays. But one thing is certainly you should remember, for every incident ray I is equals to R must be valid. We have never to violate I is equals to R. That means angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection, that we have to never violate. So this much amount of practice has to be done before drawing the ray diagram. In next class I will be discussing with you and see. So what we have read? We have read focus, pole, center of curvature, relation between F and R. F is equals to R by 2, and in case of mirror of large aperture F is equals to R minus R by 2 cos theta, and then the rules for making the drawing the ray diagram. So these things you should remember. Then in next class I will be discussing you the actual formation of the ray diagram, and then for a position of object, what are the different position of object on the principal axis and what are its corresponding images. That we shall be discussing in our next class. Till then, goodbye.